Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Melanie, and today I will be telling you guys all about my labor and delivery story, which was almost 8 months ago. And I really wanted to put this out on the internet, so like when I, want to have the baby, which I kind of want to have the baby already, I just want to really reminisce on everything I went through. And to be completely honest, I hope this is not shaky, but to be honest, my labor and delivery was wonderful. Honestly, I was so anxious for my baby to already be here that when the time came, I was so ready to see him. So my water broke. Well, I tried to get my water break by doing squats, walking, jumping on the ball. And when I did any of this, it was for a long ass time. Like, I didn't just bounce the ball for 30 minutes. No, I was bouncing on that ball for like 2 hours. I would watch like a whole like Avengers movie and just be bouncing on that and eating pineapple, which I don't really believe that like actually helps, but I was doing anything to get the baby out. I was drinking this, like, I think it was like sage lavender tea, something like that. It was actually really good, but whatever. I did I'm like fucking irritated because this shit keeps like stopping. Anyways, I don't even know where I left off. Basically, it was a Sunday. I went to my mom's. I remember squatting a bunch, after dinner, and she was like, I've never seen a pregnant woman move as much as you. And I was like, well, I'm trying to get him out because I'm over being pregnant. I did not like being pregnant. I felt super uncomfortable, super fat, super just like bloated. My feet were on some other level. Oh my God. Yo, my pregnant feet. I'm gonna try to insert a picture because that was some, whoa. It was like actually like concerning. It was insane. I literally had like it went straight from my calves all the way down to my feet. There was like no, like you can't even tell where my calves were. It was so ew. It was just anyways, so I wake up the next day and I wake up by myself because my husband already went to work. My mother-in-law, thank God for her. Well, I was living with her, and so we were in the basement, and I had, go up and down the stairs. But at this point, it was kind of difficult for me to go up and down because he was just so low and so heavy. I had already been, technically, I mean, I wasn't in like active labor, but I was, that's bullshit. Hold on. I'm pretty sure if you're dilated, you're in active labor. Okay, so the week before I gave birth, I went to the doctor and they told me that I was 3.5 centimeters dilated. I did not even know I was having contractions. I wasn't feeling no types of pain. I just felt fat. So I guess you can say I was in active labor. So that's why I kept squatting a lot and just doing a bunch of exercises to just really, start the process of him like coming out. I wasn't having heavy contractions that day. I literally woke up. She came down, gave me breakfast. I knocked out again because food made me hella tired. I'd be so hungry. I'd eat, and like all that eating would make me exhausted. Then I would like pass out for like another like 2 hours, 3. So when I got out of bed and like, I think did they bring me lunch? I don't think they did, but I think I had Wendy's still in my room from the night before because I remember I had that for dinner. And I had maybe like the rest of like my chicken nuggets. So then I go upstairs and I was like, okay, let me actually like, get out of bed, get ready. I remember I just like put on like a big tee like this and then my leggings, and I go upstairs. And there was like this woman that used to come to my mother-in-law's house, and she would like clean it and stuff, and you like bonded because my mother-in-law would go to work sometimes, or she'd be doing like work inside the house, and she would come and she would help me downstairs like clean and do like laundry and stuff. So she's in the kitchen with me. I'm about to get my plate out, and I have that day, I remember now, that day I had an appointment at 3. Yeah, at 3 o'clock to check if my dilation had escalated. So I was like, like, this baby better come out today. But I didn't think it was gonna go down like that. Like, for some reason, I don't know. But it was fine. It was exactly how if in a perfect world I could have written it down. It literally happened exactly how I prayed. So anyways, so I was getting, this is a really TMI, but I was getting a lot of discharge. So throughout the majority of my pregnancy, I had like really thin pads. So before I got my food out, I felt like a little trickle, and I was like, oh, I think I have like a lot of discharge coming out. So I was gonna go like pee and then wipe. And then I had also was starting to like accidentally like pee on myself a smidge bit. Okay, I wasn't like full on pissing myself, just like a small bit. So I go to the bathroom and I don't have to pee, and it wasn't like any discharge at all in my underwear. So I go back out, and then I felt more. And then I remember looking at her, and I was like, Gloria, when your water breaks, because she noticed something was like wrong, because I literally was like standing there, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, when your water breaks, like what did it feel like for you? And she was like, I think she told me that it's like a small bit or something, but because she has 2 kids, so one of them they had to like induce her, and then another it was like natural, like it was happening to me. So I was like, well, I keep feeling like I'm peeing on myself, but I'm not really peeing. And at this point, I had already gone to the bathroom 2 times. And each time I would like walk, or she would make me laugh or something, and I noticed every time I laughed that happened. So my mom gets out of work at 2 o'clock, and I remember looking at the clock and it being 2 o'clock, and I called her and I was like, hey, 'cause she was gonna come with me to my appointment, because my mother-in-law couldn't come with me. So I was like, hey, should I call the OBGYN, because I think I'm in labor, but then again, I have an appointment in an hour, so like, do I even, like, should I just like go to my appointment and be like, I think I'm in labor, like legit at like right now? And then she was like, no, call them, cancel. Or what did she say? She's like, call them, tell them what you're feeling, and then if they tell you to still come in, then come in. And I was like, okay, cool. So they basically told me to still come to my appointment, because they're like, when your water breaks, it should be a lot of water, like you should know, right? And I was like, okay, because I told her I felt like I was peeing myself, but there was like nothing like at all, like there nothing, okay, nothing at all. So then I was like, okay, I shit you not. The minute I got up off the chair after I hung up on this lady, I don't know if I laughed or I just some type of movement. At that point, more water came out, and I was like, okay, I am for sure in labor. And at this point, I needed to change because my leggings were soaked. Like, my underwear was soaked. I was like, this is disgusting. It felt so gross. So then I called my husband, and I was like, hey, so I'm for sure in labor. So if you could, ask to, come home already and stuff. And he was like, you're in labor. And I remember him being so nervous, freaking out. I called my mother-in-law because she was out and about on the street. She was busy because her brother had come into town. And then I called her, and then she was like, I'm coming to you right now. And I had already been in contact with my mother-in-law. She was closer to me, to the house than my own mom. So she was actually going to be the one to like take me to the hospital, right? And they were both, my mom and her both like, okay, just like get ready so you can go to the hospital. And I was like, cool. So I go downstairs. 5 minutes later, my mother-in-law gets there. Like 10 minutes later, my mom gets there with my little brother. And then like 30 minutes later, my husband finally gets there. And at this point, I had already taken a shower. I did my hair and I did my makeup because I was going to look pretty to see my child. Little did I know that I was going to sweat like a fucking pig, and that wasn't even going to matter. So I took a shower because of how disgusting it felt, and I just felt better after. I doubled up in pads, and did I put shorts on? I did put shorts on because I didn't like the feeling of it being in leggings. I'd rather just like it go down my leg and me just sweep it up. So that's what I did. By the time I literally finished getting ready, my husband gets there. He takes a really quick shower. He still didn't have his hospital bag ready, so he had to get that ready. And I'm not gonna lie, I was chilling. It wasn't hurting me. I wasn't nervous. I was so excited. I remember like dancing in the car to some old 2000 music. I don't know, I said old 2000 music. It's early 2000s music. Anyways, but I remember it was my mother-in-law, my mom, my brother, my brother-in-law, my husband, and me. We all went in separate car. It was like two separate cars, and we all went to the hospital, to the women's center. And so I go, and I delivered in the same hospital as my husband did, which was so cool. I really wanted to do that. Um, so anyways, I go in, and you have to go into a room, and it can only be like two other people. So my mom and my husband went with me. So they put you in a gown, and at this point I'm like wobbling, you know, with a towel in between my legs because I had a lot of water coming on. People were making me laugh or whatever, and then it would like gush, you know. So like if I stayed still, there wasn't that much water coming, but I would like get up, like big movements, big laughter. It would just like, you know, like an implosion in my pants. So anyways, explosion. I'm so like illiterate right now. Okay. So then they do this, like this, the way that they check you, if you don't know, is it's like a little thin like piece of paper looking thing, and basically if like changed colors or like something about the colors or whatever, when they put it up against you with the water, it like tells you if you're like in labor or not. I was like, I don't know how, I'm telling you, my water broke and I'm in labor, so we got to go. She had to check how dilated I was. I was about 5 centimeters dilated. I'm pretty sure she said 5.5. So I was like, oh, let's get this baby going. So they put me in my room, and then I was straight chilling. You guys, I think until I hit 7 centimeters, I was straight chilling. I was FaceTiming my friend Jackie. I was talking to my mom. I was talking to my husband. You know, I was texting everybody like, oh, I'm in the hospital. My friends were like already on their way because my best friends, I wanted them in the delivery room with me. I had a good bit of people in the delivery room with me. I think it's all preference. I wouldn't say everybody would like that experience. Honestly, at the beginning of my delivery, I was like, I don't know if I want my friends there. But once they were there, I knew I like needed them there. I needed every single person that was in that room with me. They literally were my rock. Oh my God, the support in that room was ridiculous. Like I lucky wanted to like go back and relive that moment. That was like the best. Out of the whole time I was pregnant and the whole delivery, this part of like when we were in the hospital and they were all in the room with me was the best feeling ever. You could really feel the love in there. And so my best friend, Jasmine, she had like a towel over my head. I had put my hair up because I started to get really, really hot. And I was like, yo, the room was hot anyways, but like as the contractions were getting stronger, my body was just like getting really, really hot. And so she had a towel over my head. My other friend Dina and my husband were like alternating between who was like rubbing my back. I had more back pain than any other place in my body. And then once I hit 7, right, I remember I was like, I think I need to push. And they were like, oh my God, where's the nurse? They were all like, get the nurse. And so they get the nurse. She comes in. She checks me. She was like, you're at 7.5, something like that, she said. And then she's like, do not push right now, because if you tear, there's going to be complications and like all this other stuff. Like before, I'm actually like, you know, ready. And then I was like, okay. I think like 30 minutes passed, and I went from 7 to 10 in like 30 minutes. And when I tell you, I was like, I'm ready to push, bro. Like, get this baby the fuck out of me. I think at one point, I used the peanut, by the way. That helped me. I was like laying down on my side, and they had the peanut in between my legs. And my mom was like rubbing my feet. My mother-in-law was like rubbing my feet and my legs as well. Husband and Dina were like alternating, and then Jasmine had the thing. And then I also asked him to put Hillsong playlist from Pandora. I really wanted to listen to Christian music. And the lights were dimmed down, okay? And not at any point was I not concentrating on my breathing on just what is important. Not the pain, but the delivery itself. I was so determined to like not scream and freak out because I just wanted this to be peaceful and just, I think I barely like opened my eyes. I think I literally was just like this in like a zen kind of thing. Um, but I did yell at my husband because he was like, listen, if you need the epidural, and when I would kind of break concentration, um, it like started to hurt more. And I remember at one point I was like, oh my gosh. And then he was like, listen, if you need to, um, if you wanted like the epidural, because I told everyone I'm not having the epidural. Um, he was like, if you need it, just tell me and I'll tell them to come in there. And I literally screamed at him and I was like, why would you say that? Because I was like, bro, that's not part of my plan. Like, what? And I never once asked for it. I never wanted it. No matter how much pain I was in, I never wanted it. To be completely honest, 1 out of 10, how much it hurts, I want to say like a 5, 6. Okay? My mom had horrible, like, experiences with all 3 of her kids, and the way she would explain it, I was like, I'm probably gonna die. Well, I didn't think that, but I was like, I was pretty scared. I was expecting the worst. I was expecting to feel like I was dying, but I didn't feel that way at all, like at all. I think really I was just so excited to see him. Like, I would cry because I didn't have him with me when I was pregnant. You know what I mean? So, at this point, she comes in to keep checking me because they see that my contractions are getting stronger. More people are coming in, getting the baby's stuff ready, and I remember they were like, "Oh, we want to check you," or something like that. I remember my actual doctor that was going to deliver. She came in for like a second. This part kind of gets a little blurry, slightly, until like the whole action comes. Okay, then I remember like clearly. So I was like, I think I need to pee, right? And they were like, okay. And I was like, but can I pee? Like, can I pee? And they were like, yeah. But so, I was waiting for like a contraction to stop hitting. And then they got me off the bed. And then a contraction hit when I got off the bed. And all this water, literally for like how the movies explain it, all this like water like exploded. It just, it just like burst. And it got like all over the floor. And I was just kind of like, oh man. And so then I was like, all right, like, let's go. So by the way, when your water breaks, I did not know this. When your water breaks, you cannot like walk around the hospital to speed up the process. You have to stay in the bed. I had seen so many people's like labor and delivery stories and like their YouTube videos about how they could like walk around and do all this stuff. I never did that. I stayed in my bed. I was just like alternating between sides. I felt the most comfortable on my side, which comes to play when I'm actually pushing. So anyways, so I get up, that happens, they take me to the bathroom, and I did not need to poop, I did not need to pee, I just kept like hovering over. And my doctor was really being a bitch at this point because she was, my nurse was so helpful, and so was my husband. I remember her telling me that my husband was amazing. They were like, yo, you are so lucky. And I was like, I know. But my actual doctor, she was like on her phone, like watching me, in the bathroom. And anyways, so I asked my nurse, I was like, I don't need to pee anymore. So like, let's get up. So as I was walking to my bed, I was just about to get up and a contraction hit. And it was so hard that I literally dropped to my knees. And at that point, my doctor, she checked me and she was like, yeah, she's ready. Because I told him, I was like, I need a fucking push. Like, I have been saying this for like 30 minutes or whatever. But at that point, I like already had hit like 10. So she like felt that. And all I hear is like, not chaos, but like feet everywhere. Like people like, like they're like kind of like hurry up kind of thing. So I'm literally like this on the floor. They're like, okay, you need to get up. And I was like, okay, well, hold on then. So I get up and I'm in that same position, but like on the bed. So I'm kind of like on all fours and they have the bed elevated and I have my arms on like where like your head kind of goes. And I'm just like, they're like, you can push this way. And I was like, okay, because it felt comfortable and the contractions didn't hurt as much when I was in that position on the floor. So I was like, I'll deliver him like this, which I didn't really care the position I was going to deliver him in. I knew that I was not going to feel comfortable on my back in the first place, so I didn't expect to go in there giving birth in that position anyways. So I'm here, and then one side, my husband's in, the other side, my mother-in-law. My mom, honestly, at this point, I didn't even know she was in the room. I thought she had left. Apparently, she was like in the corner crying because this point, I was like in pain, and I was not concentrating. I was not, because there were so many people. There was a lot of things happening. They were talking to me. So I wasn't just like focusing on my breathing and this pain. At this point, I was like fully like trying to like look at my surroundings and like all this stuff. So my mother-in-law was just like, like, breathe, concentrate on your breathing. My best friends, they're like right there, they want to film. They're like, oh, you can't film, which we still took pictures and some video, but that is going to be private because you can see the whole hoo-ha and everything. And that was like, anyways, so they tell you to like hold for like 10 seconds when you get a contraction, like breathe in, and then like like push for like 10 seconds. Hold your breath in for 10 seconds. That is fucking hard. It felt like I was underwater and I was like drowning. That's literally what it felt like. I was like, I can't, like, I think I did that like 2-3 times. So like, oh, that's great, that's great. And I remember looking at my mother-in-law, and she looked at me and she was like, listen, if you don't want to go at her pace, don't go at her pace. Like, you know your body, you know what you're feeling, you do what feels good to you. And I was like, okay. So I think I pushed like one more time, and I was like, I don't want this position anymore. My knees are hurting. I'm getting tired. So then they're like, okay, what position do you want to be in? And I was like, I want to be on my side. So then I get on my side, and I think I pushed like 2-3 times. Not like, I'm gonna hit it up like 3-4 times. And at this point, I was like kind of like grunting, like yelling, grunting. Not so much because it hurt, because to be honest, I don't even know how to explain the feeling. I didn't feel anything like down there. I really expected like a burning, like I'm like on fire type of thing. I didn't feel that. When I was kind of like yelling and like grunting, like kind of thing. I was holding on to the side, by the way. That helped me because she'd be like, oh, we see his head, we see his head. At that point, I literally was like about to have a panic attack because I felt like I'm smothering my kid. Like he's not safely in my belly anymore. Like he is right there, like in my vagina, like opening right there. So I felt like I was suffocating him. And so I started to like panic a little bit. And that's when I kept just like pushing on, pushing out. And then they'd be like, oh, you're going to feel the ring of fire, right? And when I know that when you feel the ring of fire, that means that the baby's like head is like right there. Like literally all you got to do is push that out and he's going to slide right out. So when she said ring of fire, I hit a big ass grunt and I pushed as hard as I could and the baby came out. And I'm not going to lie, I got really scared because I didn't hear him cry and I didn't see him. Everyone else kind of saw him before I did because of the way I was positioned. And I was like, let me see my baby, let me see my baby. And then I finally like turned and I saw him, and I had like this ugly cry. I had like maybe 2 tears come out, but it was like that face like when you're like right about to cry. I kind of go like that, and it was so ugly in the videos. Everyone started crying. He looked just like his dad. That boy was so long, and he is the biggest blessing I have ever had in my life. Right now, I'm 7 months postpartum. Postpartum for me was not difficult at all. Breastfeeding was not difficult. It was more so my postpartum depression that really got to me. I think I want to make a video on that because I feel like people don't put that type of information really out there. They kind of say you might get it or whatever, but the type of feelings you get, the type of anxiety you get, how depressed, it's like really dark because you want to be healthy and you want to have a really clear and happy mind for your child, but then there's like this daunting dark cloud just like right there, and like all these like horrible thoughts just like go in your mind. I never felt suicidal. I never felt that way. but I did feel very ugly and like fat. My weight really got to me. I felt ugly and fat, and I just felt so fucking tired. That's what really got to me. I was so fucking tired, and he was just on the tit like 24/7. And I'm still breastfeeding now, and now that he is eating more, he's breastfeeding less, and I really miss the days where like he was just stay on me like 24/7. It was the best feeling ever. But that was my labor and delivery story. It wasn't like anything special, anything crazy happened, because to be honest, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I had a wonderful labor and delivery. It was exactly, literally exactly how I wanted it to go. I remember saying to my friends and family, like, I want my water to break at home during the day. I wanted it to be at a time that people were getting, like my family was getting out of work and stuff, so they can all be there for me. And it was just so wonderful to see everyone's faces when they saw him, and my brothers when they came in and saw him, my brother-in-law, my dad, my father-in-law. They were just so happy, and they're all like so in love with him. And just like seeing your brothers or your parents, like the parent, like me and my husband's parents, like become grandparents, is such a beautiful thing. And just seeing like how much love they give to my son is just so wonderful and amazing, so wonderful, amazing. But anyways, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I don't know how this is gonna come out. I don't know, but yeah. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. And have a wonderful day. Bye.